I'm Shelby Pedger Realty.
And I'm Kendall.
And today we have a special little, I guess, sit-down powwow about Idaho natives and their sentiment towards those who come from, dare I say, California. This one is fresh out of California, Orange County area.
Yes.
And let's see, how long have you been here now? About
2 months.
2 months, 60 days fresh, straight from California. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Why do people in Boise hate Californians?
I don't think I'm hateable, but
The hater's gonna hate. So let's break it down. All right, so when I first moved here, it was rough. I came here 6 years ago, and from California, I'm from
it was
San Jose
rough
area.
6 years ago.
Way rougher than it is now, I think. Yeah, because I don't think they didn't understand that this is happening. Now,
Okay. Now
I think
people-
we're in more of like an acceptance position than like a resistance. So when I came, I remember literally parking my truck out, like riding, and somebody had come in and like pushed my mirrors in, put my stuff up, and like basically put like mud on my truck. And I had my California plates on still. And so I like changed them really quickly, and I was told, I don't know what exactly happened, but I was told by a couple of my buddies that live out here, they're like, yeah, you've got California plates, you don't want to be going out past like city limits with your California plates. So
Yeah, and people will say that like, oh, change your plates, you're gonna get keyed, but I've never had, I've gotten like flipped off a few times. But
knock on wood.
I haven't gotten, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
I actually think, it definitely hasn't. It's probably because there's more Californians now here than
There's
there
a
even
lot.
are, I hate to say it, Idahoans. So like,
Everyone's
us
from somewhere
Californians are
else,
sticking
right?
together. Yep,
Yeah.
everyone's from somewhere else.
So tell me a little bit about when you first arrived. Like, what was it? Did you Google Idaho? A lot of my clients are like Google moving to Boise, and all of a sudden they'll see the forum post, right? Just start coming in. Like, did you get to Google anything? Did you see anything that popped up?
Not really, but
Okay.
I knew coming out here, just so I'm from Orange, I was in Orange County, California.
The epitome of California.
The epitome. And I loved Orange County, I loved the beach, all of that, but there was something so wonderful and like exciting about Idaho, just different scenery, the people. Like
Yeah.
I've heard the people are so kind, and I will say, like, I meet people and hit it off and we have great conversation, and then they ask where I'm from and I
You're like,
slowly say California.
Have you had it yet where they're like, oh, me too?
Yeah, well, almost every time they say, oh, well, I'm from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I do run into a lot of Californians too, but for the most part, when I'm having conversation with people, they're too nice to be like, oh my gosh, you're
Yeah,
from California.
straight up.
It's more like behind the scenes, like,
Keyboard warriors.
if you, keyboard warriors.
Yeah, like the
They're
Boise
worst.
Bench Dwellers Facebook group. You want to get into some drama, you can check out that. But yeah, I think that's totally true. And I think like you got to watch the whole video. We're both from California, but there are so many positive factors that come into play in an expanding and a growing community. And I think the biggest thing that we need to just address right off the bat is that most Idahoans don't hate Californians. And if I was in their shoes, I would totally express the same sentiment that I grew up in I grew up here. I grew up in such a beautiful place called Boise, and I don't want to see it change and get run over and just massively populated, and all the issues that come along with population that we see in so many other cities in the nation that are popular happen here just because it's home, right? And so I definitely understand where they're coming from, and I hope that people understand that Californians or anybody from Seattle, from Texas, from Arizona, people are coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do, and I've always asked the client, right? Like, I don't even have to ask them. They come into town and they always say, hey, just to let you know, we're not coming here to change Idaho. We're coming to be a part of it.
Yes, and that was my whole coming out here. It was like there are so many more like-minded people that like the same hobbies as me, like down to that. Just I feel like I can hang out with and relate to Idaho and people in Idaho more than I can with people in Southern California. Yeah. So it's not like people from California are coming in to change. They're coming into Idaho because they want.
Here, we just are running away.
We crave Idaho.
Yeah. And
pretty
you know,
much.
truth be told too, if California was like Idaho, there's beaches and mountains and snowboarding and forests.
Oh yeah, we have some of that
redwoods.
stuff. Yeah.
Everything is in California from a outdoor perspective. It's just that you can't use it. Like I grew up in Silicon Valley, which when I grew up was a different place. And due to economics and technology and the things that took place, it evolved into a place that is no longer like home. Now, let's say that is Boise's situation. We want to go ahead and try to make this place continually enjoyable to live and to reside and be in. So I think as a community, everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, no, totally. And I've always wondered this, so this is me genuinely asking.
Yeah.
Don't like good things come? I mean, there are things that obviously are a little scary, like things might change in Boise if there's more people and if the population rises, but aren't there really good things that can happen to a city when lots of people come in?
My perspective personally, and I'm actually, people, they'll pass judgment before knowing anything that's going on, right? And I think that the people that are the loudest in a negative sentiment are typically the people that aren't necessarily looking for the opportunities, but looking for more of a reason to have a complaint against their situation or what they're feeling. And a lot of areas of a growing community offer up opportunity. And, I came here without a network, without an established, place or culture or community that I'm really a part of, and was able to, because of the growing nature of the community, create a business that was able to grow and have success. And it's not only real estate, because people are moving here. There's so many businesses that have been touched by the growth in the community in such a positive way that has brought in more restaurants, more dining, more outdoor preservations, the outdoor bike parks that they put into play. All these things are a result of the growth that we're feeling in the economy here.
Totally.
Now, you could put it on the other side. Would you rather be part of a dying city and area or somewhere that's growing, right?
Yeah. And there still are these like little small town, awesome, like Boise feeling places that make, like, even when I go down like Hyde Park area or when I'm down in Eagle, like I feel
it's quaint.
Yes, it's quaint, and it hasn't lost that. And I honestly feel like Idaho won't let that go away. No, it's too embedded in like Idaho's.
We're too holding tight to the identity of Idaho, and I think that's what's so addicting when you move here. You're like, okay, cool, I'm here, I'm part of it. Let's keep this thing going. Yeah. And so I think that's kind of the sentiment. Like, I don't think people hate Californians as much as they hate the idea of potential change that could create a place that may end up like a major metro area that people are leaving. So that's what we need to be most conscious of. If you do move here, if you're starting a business, be conscientious of being a part of the community, being a positive influence in the community, and bringing, I guess, just a good experience to people, and not being the person that becomes a thorn in everybody's side.
Yes, very true. Okay, random question before we go. Before I moved out here, I got married and then I moved out here. And my husband, his family, you know him. My husband is his brother.
Shout out to Tyler Badgett.
But his family, your family, years ago, homesteaded here in Idaho.
Yes, we've got some claims.
We got some farmers. And I know that I'm not blood necessarily, but am I allowed to come in and when people ask if I'm from Idaho, say I have family that homesteaded here?
I don't know, I bet you.
Let us know in the comments if that's
some
acceptable.
Of my family local here might be like, Shelby, that's pushing it. But it is true. We come from, my mom was born in Boise. So, I always say, well, it's my claim to having some roots here. We're coming back home, technically. So don't hate us, right? We're coming back. She married in, she had no choice.
I had no choice.
No choice.
Yeah.
And I think, they actually came here in the 1800s, to my knowledge, and homesteaded hundreds of acres of agricultural land. And they had, like, when we used to visit here when we were kids, they had like this little, it was probably a 10 by 10 wood foundation little hut that I guess my uncle and I guess my great uncle or his father's father lived in and worked out of while they homesteaded and worked the land. And then over time, you became a farmhouse and a farm, and it's just crazy to see that take place. So it's not even that far behind us generationally, but we're just it's such a different place.
I didn't know them, but I would hope that they would be happy with what's happening in Boise. I think they would love to see, I don't know, even just like this family coming back and growing
and the arts and the community, the museums, the ability to be outdoors in a trail system, like being able to do everything that you want to do, but still be in a city while still having endless recreational outdoors. If you guys want to be away from people, there's plenty of that in Idaho too, just a stone's throw from the city. So yeah, it's a pretty diverse area. Someone, you know, I would say I'm like a tried and true California kid the way I grew up, and I'm not ever leaving Idaho. So, you know,
I've only been here 2 months,
I guess
and
you
I'm
can't
never
always
leaving.
say that, but yeah, I want to
Yeah.
stay here forever as long as everything continues in the direction that it's going. So,
Yeah. Well,
and
awesome.
this opportunity.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't hate Californians.
Don't hate
Be
California.
a part of the solution, part of the growth in a positive way.
Get to
And
know a Californian. Like, really. Sit
some
down.
of them, you know, you can tell them.
But some of them might even be more like an Idahoan than you would suspect. So get to know us,
Rooted.
because we would love to hang out with some Idahoans.
Yeah, and if you're contemplating Idaho, like I said, I've been here 6 years myself. We work with investments, we work with primary, secondary homes, anything real estate, buying or selling. We do work with a lot of clients in the Valley. So I'd love to sit down, give you a consultation, see what might align best with your goals and how we can be of assistance for you.
Yeah. All right. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, let's
Comment
do this.
down below if, I don't know, you're loving Idaho.